There's no way you can improve your life without getting organized. And it might seem small and trivial, but it does more for your mind than you can imagine. Have you ever walked into a space and you feel tired even before you sit? Or in a kitchen and you prefer now even going hungry instead of cooking? And this is because of the magic word for today: organizing. I am the kind of person who gets so worked up mentally when I walk into such a space. And if it is you, my friend, causing your friends such agony, your search is over. This is the right place, and today we will talk about organizing and the different areas in our lives that we can organize. So we'll focus on 3 areas: the personal space, our finances, and the mind. First things first, the personal space. This is what meets your visitors' eyes when they walk into your space. And it sets the mood that allows people to feel comfortable or uncomfortable. I'm not saying you have to be like an interior stylist, if there's a word like that. But at least, if you make effort, it's for your own space, it's not for anyone else. And I'll give you my hacks, some of the small things that help me to stay organized in my space. They are very small and very easy to follow. So let's get into that. And the first thing that always works for me is making sure that everything has a home in the house. The small things, the books, the things that you don't use at the moment, pens, making sure that they have a home. They are not randomly placed in the house, they have a home. And now once everything has a home, the next thing I always do is to return things to their place once I am done with them. So if it's a book that I am done reading, I return it to where books are so that I don't have to pile up work for later. I return things to where they're supposed to be once they have served their purpose for that moment. And this is part of my proactive laziness structure. And how it works is that if you get used to putting things to where they're supposed to be, you'll never have a pile of things to put away, because everything will always be in its place and everything will always be organized. Simple hack, if you ask me. Proactive laziness is all about doing less work right now instead of difficult work later. So you putting that book away right now instead of putting several other books away later is easier, right? Folding a cloth right now that you're not using and putting it away is easier than having to fold a pile of clothes. Now, that thing that can be a hack for you is having a timer to organize. And this is, don't click out yet. Just take 5 minutes. Set a timer for 5 minutes only. And I promise you this, that if you use those 5 minutes to organize and put things away, you will never dread the weekend. We push most of our cleaning and organizing for the weekend. But what if I told you there's a way that you can enjoy your weekends? Well, I just did. Using a timer, set just 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and put things away. Put things away to where they're supposed to be, and you'll always have an organized space. The second thing is your finances. We need to get organized with our finances. And the best thing I can think about for organizing finances is using budgets. I'm not a financial guru, but the bare minimum for everyone is to at least have a budget. It tells your money where to go. I think one of the things that hold us back from having budgets is thinking that we don't have a lot of money to plan for. If you are that kind of person, say this after me: I refuse a scarcity mentality. Budget for the little you have and train your budgeting muscle. It gives you so much power and confidence. And also, on top of that, when that big bag of money comes, it will be so easy for you to budget. So start with the little that you have. Be faithful with that little, and when the time comes for you to have loads of money, then it will be so easy. It won't be like you're starting now from the groundwork, figuring out how to budget. I recommend watching videos by Sarah Wanyama here on YouTube. She's a financial guru, and I'm sure you'll learn a lot of things from her when it comes to budgeting and even how to organize your money. The third thing that we need to get organized at is our mind. When our mind is cluttered, it can cause us a lot of embarrassment, guys. Think of an event where the guest speaker doesn't show up, maybe because of an emergency. The plan B is usually to look for someone who is outgoing, someone who is talkative, so that they can fill in the gap, and at least they won't run out of words to say. But now imagine that person is not even there. They don't have that plan B, and then they ambush someone who doesn't even enjoy public speaking. That person might pee their pants, or even it could go very south for them. It could go south pretty fast for them. Another classic example, picture this: you get into an event again, and you get there late and everyone else is seated and the only empty seat is somewhere in the middle. Yes, you'll find a way to get there. You'll find your way to that place and sit. But it will take time for you to settle in and even to start listening and paying attention to whatever someone else is saying or the guest speaker is saying. That said, I also have hacks to organize the mind and I'm sharing them with you. So the first thing that I always like to do is having a to-do list. And this is something we've mentioned here before. Think of just 3 things that you want to do for the day, and it keeps you organized even in the way that you will plan your day, how you'll schedule your hours. It's easier to have a to-do list so that you can make it, so that it can be easier for you to plan yourself. So have a to-do list. Now, next to that to-do list, have a shopping list. Again, this is something we've talked about here before. Shopping lists save you a lot of time and money. So the previous day, before you go and do shopping, go through your house supply and see the things that are missing or not enough, and then now add those to your list so that when you go shopping, you are not thinking in that heat of the moment, and most of the times you end up forgetting a few things. Am I right? While we are still on the topic of lists, have a list like for your events of the day, especially if you're a content creator. For me, what I do is listing the points down as they will flow, so that there can be, like an ease in how points lead to the next points. It's easy when you have written them down instead of thinking in that heat of the moment. And this is a mistake that I used to do by the way. I used to have a topic in my mind. Yes, I have done the research, but the thing is, I would come and start thinking while I am recording. So it took me a lot of time, and I would also dread doing videos because of that. But now I have come up with a system where I do the research and write down the points that I am going to be sharing and how they flow. That way it's easier for me and it saves a lot of time. Now, if you are in any way trying to organize your life, you cannot miss this next thing: keeping time. When you keep time, you avoid things like what we mentioned up there. In the previous few minutes, we talked about getting into a place late and how that gets you confused. You feel so confused, Yeah, so keep time in everything, because that's the first thing. That's how you get your mind organized. The next thing is something that people often ignore or they are not even aware of. Take time to process your points before you speak. Normalize pausing before you speak. Normalize pausing before you give your response. Sometimes we just want to say things and we end up saying things the wrong way or say things that are not right. So how about this? When someone asks you a question, you don't have to respond like immediately. Take a few seconds, process your thoughts, organize them in your mind, think about this, and this. And then now when you start speaking, you sound very like someone who is put together, So that's another hack for organizing your mind. Taking time, taking a pause before you respond to something that you've been asked. That's it. I hope it was helpful. I hope you get more organized in your personal space, in your mind and your finances. Please like this video and also share with someone you think who would benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe, and see you in one of my other videos. Bye for now. Peace.